Hello everyone, this is Babamots. Welcome to another Homeworlds game commentary. This game is between MSt1 and nycavri. nycavri has been playing since before Homeworlds came to Board Game Arena. They played on Super Duper Games. They were in some of the earliest tournaments. MSt1 I don't know so well, but this game is from last year's tournament that I threw, that I called the Great Homeworlds Tournament. And this was from round 2. I should have written down, but didn't, whether they won or lost. They both had the same result in round 1, whether they won or lost, since it was a Swiss-style tournament. MSt1 has not been playing on Board Game Arena for a while, and nycavri hasn't played all that much on Board Game Arena either, but I think they're a reasonably strong player overall. I put this one down. I'm not positive that it's a super interesting game, but we will find out together and learn what we can. All right, MSt picks Yellow Fortress versus Red Fortress. All right, this is a small universe game. Red versus yellow. All right. All right, both trading for yellow right away. I think that might favor Avri a little, since MSt has the yellow home star that'll slow down their yellow growth a little. MSt trading for blue. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I'm always thrown off a little bit by how small universes and Gemini affect the bank as people take stars. So Avri is looking at moving out to a blue star. Since they're moving to a small blue star, that's taking a small blue out of the bank, which is accelerating the blue economy, which would seem to favor MSt1 since they've already taken a blue ship. Avri may be partially shut out of the blues as a result. So I don't like that too much. MSt, I think I would build the last small blue. Yeah, make it hard for Avri to get more. Avri builds more green. Building green at a blue star is a pretty pleasant thing to be doing, though. You get to build and diversify. It's like a mini homeworld. MSt spreads out their blues, probably wanting to build more blue. Interesting that they took a red star. They won't be able to build at that red star, but it will be a little more defensible for a while. I think they didn't want to take a green star because by taking a green, Avri could build a medium. If they had taken a small green star here, that is, Avri would be able to build a medium green and then would be able to trade for a medium blue and be fairly comfortably able to compete for the blues in the near future. So I think not picking a green star was wise for MSt. And probably not picking the yellow either, because then Avri could build the medium yellow. Red was probably best overall. All right, Avri trades for red. This is not a convenient time for MSt to trade for red. So that was good for Avri. MSt, if they traded anything for red, they would lose the only representative of that color that they had in that system. MSt, undeterred, builds more blue. I think that's probably the right choice right now, putting off trading for red for another turn. Avri builds more green. Avri's got a nice green advantage now. They could instead have built another red, but MSt is getting medium ships now, and they have no problem, I'm sure, with trading for a medium red. So green is probably the better way to go. Green is a harder color to catch up on. Whoop. MST should not build that fourth blue in their home. That would be an overpopulation. Moving their medium to the colony, that's a reasonably safe place for it. Since it's a red star, they'd even be safe from invaders in a few turns if that becomes an issue. Okay. Avery deciding that things are desperate and they want to trade away their big green for the blue. Trouble is, they won't be able to actually build anything with it. So that's really just putting a large blue in reserve for themselves. I don't think that's going to end up going very well. My money's on MST right now. I think MST should... yeah, trading for yellows just fine. NYC can't build any blue because they'd be too close to overpopulation. They're thinking about... Did I just say MST can't build blue? Avery can't build blue because they'd be too close to overpopulation. Okay, Avery builds red. And again, this is an inconvenient time for MST to trade for red. So, but it's still not particularly urgent that they do trade for red, since any invaders that they would get would be small, and MST can have a larger defender in a couple of turns. Okay. MST spreading, well, yeah. I think I would have just built a... Oh, well, nope, they're right. Okay, this is a good move. By advancing the little blue, these systems are connected to Avery's home, so MST is now threatening to catastrophe Avery's blue star at home and their only large ship, which would be really devastating. So Avery really has to trade that large blue back to some other color. If Avery moves away that large blue, then to try to build somewhere else, then MST can sacrifice the yellow to move in the green. Yeah, and then start capturing everything in Avery's home. That gets pretty dicey. Yeah, Avery's got to trade. Ooh, nope, that's not going to be good. Take it back. Nope, they didn't take it back. Yeah, MST should blow up Avery's blue home star, pretty sure. Okay, even though Avery has got a lot more individual ships now, I think I favor MST's position, having both of their home stars intact and having the only large ship in the game. It will be hard for Avery to diversify, especially with no blue in their home. But I think Avery could still make a good fight of this. I think this still could turn into a pretty interesting game. They've got several ships on MST's doorstep, and they have the only red. So Avery, I think, should... What should Avery do? I honestly don't know. Let's see what they come up with. Trading for yellow? Oh, that's... Okay, yeah, that's really good. Okay, that opens up the medium yellows, but if MST builds a medium yellow, then Avery overpopulates them. That's a great move. Yeah, MST can't do that. They've got to take that back. Okay, they trade for red. I think that's a good idea. MST doesn't want any little ships coming in and threatening to build and blow up a star or MST's large ship, so that's a good choice. It also, by getting into red, that puts them a step closer to overpopulating Avery's remaining star. Okay, pushing the greens. I think that's all right. MST should probably build the... let's see, if they build the G2... I wonder if MST builds the G2, I wonder if Avery would be able to push greens in. That could get pretty annoying. Okay, yeah, so if MST builds G2, Avery moves in a G1, MST captures it, then Avery moves in another green to blow up MST's only large ship. They're now down to just one ship, the red. On the other hand, if MST doesn't capture but moves away their green, say they build G2 now, Avery moves in a little green, MST moves their G2 away, or better, they could trade it for red too. What I was worried about was that if Avery sacrifices to capture MST's only red, now they've got a green and a red in MST's home, and Avery's feeling pretty comfortable. But if MST had traded that for a medium red, then MST can still fight back and is feeling pretty good. Okay, so MST I think should be safe. Long and short, MST should be safe building the G2 if they want to. And they do. All right. Let's see if Avery goes down the path that I was contemplating, moving in the green. They do. Interesting. All right, let's see if MST reacts correctly. Capturing that little green is no good, because Avery will just catastrophe all the greens, and MST will just have one ship, and then I definitely would favor Avery's position. I think they should trade this for a red, so that if Avery captures your little red, then you can start capturing back. Yes, they see it. Okay, well, we are of one mind, it seems. All right, Avery now, I think, should be regretting their decision to invade. Although they could build a G2 in MST's home, getting close to overpopulating their green. Yeah, that would be pretty good. Oh, even with the sacrifice. Wow. All right. The things look more even than they did a moment ago. Well, actually, I'm not so sure, because Avery doesn't even have a medium ship anymore. Golly. Let's see if Avery commits to that. They do. All right. Well, so what's MST's plan now? I think MST's plan has got to be, see if they move to a small yellow star in anticipation of invading Avery's home. Avery builds yellow. I don't think Avery can produce a medium ship in time to defend their home. I think MST wins if they just start marching across the universe. I think it's actually better if they go to a small yellow star instead of invading this colony. At this colony, they can capture something. But if they go to a small yellow star, then on their next turn they move in and start capturing for the win. Well, not totally true, because since Avery has multiple small ships, if MST is only capturing one at a time, Avery can capture them back and shoot for a tie. So it could be problematic. Well, we'll see how this turns out. All right, Avery, how do you defend your colony? I think you either sacrifice the little yellow to move something away, or you try to outbuild. I suppose you could build an R1 to try to overpopulate the red invader, maybe. Yeah, interesting. They liked that. And they had longer to think about. How long did they think about that? They had... it was half an hour between those turns, so they may have been thinking about that for half an hour. I only thought about it for a few seconds, so I'm going to trust their their analysis that that turns out well. Okay, MST. Yeah, MST can't even capture anything at this point. Um, they could capture one of these ships, but then Avery would just capture it right back. So MST is now, I think, unhappy with this choice because their red ship's about to get overpopulated, and if they trade it for something else, then it can't capture anything. I think maybe trade it for yellow and then move into Avery's home. And then start thinking about trading the R1 at home for green so that you can start trying to build up and defend yourself. Okay, yeah, they'd pick the yellow. Ooh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Okay, Avery gets a medium red, threatening to capture that that yellow. I think MST, they could move into Avery's home and just try to trade captures back and forth for a draw, or they can withdraw to their home, hoping to trade that medium yellow for a green and start building reds, since that's what's going to give them the largest ships the fastest. MST is not looking so great right now. That is to say, their position is not so great. Okay. All right. What does Avery do? They can't invade. I think they've got to just continue building up. They could do it in green, where they have a huge advantage. Or they could do it in red, where they've got a head start. Golly, I don't know which of those two turns out better. Probably red. I think I would spread out the reds. And then keep building red. Ooh, no, moving the red in right now isn't going to work out. I'm almost certain. I think Avery should take that back. Nope, they stick to it. All right, MST, boy, this is back and forth. If MST captures this, then, which, I mean, they pretty well had to. Oh, really? No, 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 I don't like that at all. You don't want your opponent capturing one of your two ships. Yeah, take that for sure. Okay. I think Avery thinks that they're going to overpopulate MST's red ships. But Avery will be losing three, even if this works, it'll be losing 3 ships to overpopulate just one. And I don't think it's going to work out anyway. Yeah, they move in another red. So MST now can and should sacrifice a little red to capture this one. That the sacrifice decreases the red population. This is the slow, the impossibility of the slow red push that we've talked about before. Sacrifice the little red to capture this little red. You've just, Avery would be just as well off having sacrificed their little red to do nothing, because otherwise the position is the same. Okay, does MST know the trick? Do they know to sacrifice a red to capture that red? Yes, they do. All right, well, Avery... So now we've seen the game in which Avery learns this trick. Because I learned this trick once, and then considered it to be a very hard lesson. It was in a game with the person who I considered to be my nemesis at the time that I learned this trick, and I thought that I had won brilliantly, and instead this little trick got played on me, and I said, oh no, I will never forget this trick. I imagine that everybody else sees this only once. They lose to it exactly one time and never forget, because that's the way I learned. All right, let's see what Avery does now. They're going to switch into green mode. I think that's pretty good. So MST, I think, would have preferred to trade one of their little reds for green. Now instead, if they ever want to build another ship, they've got to trade the yellow. Or I guess they could be discovering a green star. I don't like moving out the red very much, though. That opens up the mediums for Avri. That puts Avri very close to starting to build larges, which MST can't even hope to do at all right now. I think MST really has to trade that yellow for green. Yeah, they agree. All right, Avri now. Keep working on the greens, I think. Build a green in Alti. That's all right, I guess. I think I prefer it in the colony overall, though. Let's see. Alti now, or MST now. Ah, boy, do they build green. I feel like they don't have an option, but I feel like it's a bad option. Yeah, that opens up larges. Avri's going to get a large if they do that. And then MST's really sunk. Yep. They're not going to be able to compete with that large. There's no way now. Oh boy. Avri brought it back. Avri comes in with the large. MST really can't do anything about it. They can build a green. Try to overpopulate. They can try to get lots of little ships, but they're going to get eaten one by one. Yeah. Trying a lot of different things. Let's see what they decide looks good in the end. Trying to overpopulate Avri's greens at home is interesting, but then they're going to lose at once because Avri will just sacrifice their R2 to capture all of MST's remaining ships. Yep, there it is. Ooh, well, I'm impressed that Avri brought it back. I thought MST was going to have that. Well, good on Avri for bringing that back. That's it for now. Thank you for watching.